All right, day 4 of Piss and Vinegar. It's back and rear delts day. So warming up with the T-bar row. I think it's day 4. Well, pretty sure it's day 4. So anyway, warming up T-bar rows. You might see here I use the 10 kilo plates for the T-bar row rather than the 20 kilo plates. This way I get more out of less weight and I get a larger range of motion. You know, if you use those 20 kilo plates, you can lift easily double. Like I used to lift 110 kilos with the 20 kilo plates, whereas with these plates I use 60 kilos. So you have to leave your ego at the door, but you get a better contraction, you get fuller range of motion, and you can do better drop sets with it, as you'll see in a minute. So yeah, I like the T-bar row. Before with the big plates, I didn't feel it that much. I didn't really like it, and then I tried it out at the behest of Alex from Alpha Destiny, or Alex Leonidas. He was talking about it. I gave it a go, and I fucking dig it. So yeah, this is the top set. I was kind of in my head because I didn't really station the bar in the corner correctly. So my head wasn't in the set. I could have got more reps, but I was kind of freaking out about the bar flipping up and hitting me in the dick. So yeah, I kind of fucked the setup. But anyway, it still was taken to mechanical failure. That's all that matters. I round my back a little bit. That way I can get more range of motion. If I keep a straight back, I'm more upright, and thus the bar is hitting me in the gooch before I can get it to the plates to my chest. So don't want to hear anyone talking about round thoracic spine. It's not a big issue, especially when you have a strong lower back. And then yeah, I do a drop set. So I take a 10 off, and that's the beauty of using these plates is you got a bunch of plates to do a drop set. Do a drop set with. Barely get 3 reps there. Drop it again, and by now my back's cooked. But I like to drop set this. I'm making a video in the future about drop sets, so keep an eye out for that. They're a great substitution for not having force reps from a partner. So now I'm at 40 kilos, fuck all weight, but it's like I can barely move it because of that extra range of motion. Going a bit more upright, using my legs to get some force reps here. And then on the last rep, or the last drop set, I add a straight bar in just to get a bit more rear delts and kind of teres major and minor involved a little bit. And again, a lot of these drop sets are probably overkill, but it's good for me mentally. I feel like I'm achieving more when I do a drop set, even if I'm not. So yeah, with these you can always use the V bar to then leverage the straight bar in, and now you can kind of train the lats at a slightly different angle, hit the rear delts a little bit more. I like this too. Damn, my back's rounding a lot, but yeah, if I don't round it, I don't get that range of motion. So you know, it's not a big deal rounding your upper back, especially with a relatively light movement like a T-bar row. You know, you wouldn't want to do that on a bar on a deadlift though. Then I move on to more lat heavy, so the wide grip lat pull downs. I used to do closer grip, and again, like you get more weight. I could do 80, 90 kilos. Well, I was heavier at the time, but I was strong. Regardless, you are stronger with the closer grips. But I found with the wider grip, you get less reps, but you get more activation in the latimus dorsi. So this is how I do it now. I do the wide grip, and it's a really, really wide bar. Like I don't know why the manufacturer has made it that wide, but it ended up being a good thing because my other bar isn't that wide. It's a normal bar, kind of that Franco Colombo width, and he had some of the greatest lats in the 60s and 70s. So take that what you will. And with these, I keep going until I can't reach my chin. I don't keep going until I can't reach my clavicle because I feel like the lats are contracting optimally until you go over the chin. So with these, I fail at chin height, not clavicle touch. That's just how I do it. That works for me. And then again, I do a drop set. On my back days, I do a lot of drop sets because there's not much unilateral work, so I can't do force reps. And I don't really like rest pauses. I just prefer drop sets on back day. So then I drop it a little bit and then I do a kind of an underhand grip just to hit the lats a little bit differently. And this way I can use my biceps a bit more to leverage more weight. And even then I'm barely getting 4 or 5 reps on this drop set. And then I drop one more. I drop about 10 kilos each. I do some behind the back, which is controversial, I know, but I don't get any shoulder issues from this at all. Haven't for years. So I do a bit of behind the back to really hit like that upper lat attachment to the humorous. I find this one allows me to hit my upper lats a little bit more. So slightly different grips on all my different back movements because the back has so many different muscles and there's such a long muscle, the latimus dorsi. So I like to give it a bit of variation rather than just doing the one set with the one variation, like a bench press, for example. You don't change the grips on that. And then I do a pullover, and I prefer the pullover with the V bar or the tricep extension bar. I find I get a better squeeze and contraction at the bottom. Whereas if it's wider, I just don't know. I don't quite feel it as much. So again, with back, you've got to really try all the different grips and different variations. Like sometimes the weird things that you wouldn't think would work would actually work better. So for someone else, it might be a wider grip. For others, it might be a close grip. Some people can't feel pullovers at all, especially newbies. So I like to do these just to kind of finish off the lats because my grip oftentimes, even while wearing straps, gives out on pull downs because my forearms are so engaged on so many movements because I do arm wrestling. They're so predisposed to gripping and kind of taking the work. So I do these just that way my grip doesn't fail first. It's actually my lats that fail. I wish I had one of those Nautilus 90s Dorian Yates blood and guts fucking pullover machines. That would be absolutely kino. Those things look excellent. Like I've never used one, but I could just sense that thing would feel, that would give you the greatest lat contraction that you can get. I could guarantee it. It's just the biomechanics of that movement. If you've never seen one, go look up Blood and Guts, back day, Dorian Yates, and look at the pullover machine that he built back in his temple gym. Anyway, finishing off with some rear delts, doing the rear delts Dorian Yates style. I like a lot. I do a lot of kind of Dorian Yates-esque back training because, well, he had a fucking exceptional back, and Ronnie and Dorian both train back very similar. So I do the rear delts in the same way. And you probably say, "Oh, why are you bending your arms so much?" I find when I bend my arms, I can kind of just imagine I'm pulling through my elbows and not my hands. And if you can kind of just imagine your elbows being the pivot point, you'll feel your rear delts more than if you keep your arms, perfectly straight and strict. You might not feel it as much. I feel it more in my rotator cuffs when I keep my arms straight. So this way I use a slight English, and this way I can get a better contraction at the top, use more weight, and I feel my rear delts more. And I never used to have rear delts until I started kind of doing these power rear delt flies. And yeah, 3 drop sets. Again, can't really force rep these unless you have a partner, and even then, it's best to just do drop sets. I think it's just it's just the movement's like that, I suppose. And on the last set, I like to well, this is a new thing actually, but I enjoyed this bending over the bar. That way, I could just totally engage the rear delts, not use my lower back at all to stabilize. And I might actually start doing all 3 sets of the drop sets like this because I can just totally engage the rear delts. Especially now when I put my legs up, I can totally just chest supported do that. And I wish I could do that with the V bar, but the problem is with the V bar, there's no way of chest supporting that without it then getting in the way of the bar. So, without machines, you're limited. And that's it. That's back day. So that's pretty much it. 15, 20 minutes done. Now I'm doing a little posing. I have a very unimpressive back, but I'm just doing a bit of posing so I can look back on some of my old videos and see if I've made any gains. Which, again, I haven't because I'm in a cut, but I do look leaner, so it's good. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow for more piss and vinegar, high intensity, Dorian Yates-esque type training. Bye-bye.